Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a dragon. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the front part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. To the right, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. This circle should be about 2/3 the size of the first circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. Above the first circle, draw another circle as a guide for the head. This circle should be about 1/3 the size of the first circle. The higher up you draw this circle, the longer the neck will be. Inside the head, draw a sloping line. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features later on. On the top right side of the head, draw a curved line as a guide for the top jaw. This guide should be similar to an arc on its side. On the bottom right side, draw a similar shape as a guide for the lower jaw. Pay attention to the placement of these arcs on the head. Under the first circle, draw a long vertical line for the front leg that's on the other side of the body. Bend the middle of the line slightly to create a joint, and then bend the bottom tip to the left to create the foot. Starting inside the circle, draw a long angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Pay attention to the shape of this line because this leg is raised. Under the circle on the right, draw another long angled line as a guide for the hind leg. Bend the line a couple of times near the middle to indicate the joints, and again at the bottom for the foot. To the left, draw another long angled line as a guide for the other hind leg. Slope this line toward the bottom left side and bend it a couple of times for the joint and foot. Connect the head to the body using curved lines to create the guide for the neck. Curve the lines to indicate the head facing right. The line on the left should be longer than the line on the right. Connect the body circles using a couple of lines to finish the guide for the torso. Slope the lines slightly. Starting on the top right side of the body, draw a long curved line as a guide for the tail. Slope the line down and then curve the tip back up. Draw another long curved line below it to make the shape thicker. The base of the tail should be wide, and then the shape should gradually get thinner toward the tip. Starting on top of the first circle, draw a long angled line as a guide for the wing. Bend the line to the right and then back to the left. At the top, draw a line that curves to the right for the outer edge of the wing. The bottom of this line should be far to the right of the tail. Starting on the top tip again, draw another long curved line to finish the guide for the wing. Curve this line to the bottom right side so that it's close to the tail. Dragons are fictional creatures, so you can make any of these shapes bigger or smaller if you'd like. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small oval for the eye. Place the eye on the top right side near the jaw. When you get the size and position of the eye right, draw a short angled line at the top for the brow. It's okay to overlap the oval with the line. Darken the oval but make the sides pointier. Leave the inside of the eye blank. Above the eye, draw a few small pointy shapes for the spikes on the brow. Make the shape small and triangular. Follow the path of the head circle as you draw these shapes. To the right, draw a few more small pointy shapes for the brow that's on the other side of the head. Use the arc on the right as a guide to draw the top jaw. At the top, draw a short angled line for the nostril. Below that, draw a small triangular shape for the nostril's opening. On the bottom right side, draw a pointy shape for a beak-like structure. Add another small angled line at the top for the other nostril. Add a series of small triangular shapes along the bottom edge of the guide for the teeth. Make the teeth different sizes. On the left side, draw a bigger triangular shape for a horn. Use the arc on the bottom as a guide to draw the lower jaw. Darken the arc to create the shape of the jaw. Draw a series of small triangular shapes along the top edge of the arc for the teeth. Extend the line to the left so that it connects to the top jaw. Add a few short curved lines between the jaws for the skin and tongue. Extend the bottom of the jaw to the left to make the shape bigger. Below the top jaw, add a few more small pointy shapes for the teeth that are on the other side. Add a few more small pointy shapes at the bottom too for the other side of the lower jaw. On the top left side of the head, lightly sketch a long pointy shape for the horn. Curve the middle of the shape and make the bottom part wide and the top part thin and pointy. When you get this shape right, darken the lines. You can draw the shape of the horn differently if you'd like. Bend the middle section of the horn. To the right, lightly sketch the shape of the other horn. The base of this horn should be on top of the head. Bend the middle section of the horn. When you get this shape right, darken the lines. Make the horn wide at the bottom and then gradually make the shape thinner toward the top. On the left side of the head, draw a small triangular shape for another horn. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Use the sloping line that's under the front part of the body as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the shape wide at the top and then gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. Curve the shape of the leg along the guideline to create the joints. Use curved lines as you draw the shape for the muscle structure. Make the bottom part of the shape circular for the foot. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. The top of the leg should be inside the body. Use curved lines to define the muscles. Add a small triangular shape on the right side for a spike on the joint. Make the bottom part of the leg thinner the closer it is to the foot. The area above the foot should be thin. At the very bottom on the right side, draw a small triangular shape for the first claw. Add a short line on the left side to create the toe. Draw a couple more claws and toes on the left side the same way. Use small triangular shapes for the claws and short lines to separate the toes. You can make the claws longer if you'd like. Use the angled line below as a guide to draw the other front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Curve the bottom part of the shape to the left to create the foot. When you get the shape right, darken the lines. Draw a small triangular shape on the right side for the toe that's higher up on the foot. On the bottom left side, draw another small triangular shape for another claw. create the toe around the claw using a short curved line. Add a couple more toes on the left side using small triangles and short lines. Add a short curved line at the top for the visible section of the top leg. Use the long angled line on the far right side as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the shape wide and then gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. Curve the shape along the path of the guide to create the joints. When you get the shape of the hind leg right, darken the lines. The top of the leg should be inside the body. Curve the lines to create the muscle structure. Bend the lines in the middle to create the joints. Keep the bottom edges of the leg close to the guideline so that the shape is thin. Add the claws at the bottom using small triangular shapes. Separate the toes using short lines. Use the line to the left as a guide to draw the other hind leg the same way. Sketch the leg lightly around the guide and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Make the top part of the leg wider than the bottom. On the right side, draw a small triangular shape for the claw and toe that are higher up on the foot. Draw a few more small triangular shapes on the bottom left side for the other claws. Separate the toes using short lines above the claws. Use the long lines above the body as guides to draw the wing. Darken the long angled line for the first part of the wing. Add a small triangular shape at the top for a spike on the wing. Add another long angled line to the right to make the base of the wing thicker. Make the bottom section wider than the top. Darken the long angled line on the right for the outer edge of the wing. Darken the long angled line in the middle for the inner edge of the wing. Bend the line a couple of times to create joints. Connect the lines at the bottom using diagonal lines. The bottom edge of the wing should be triangular. Lightly sketch a few long curved lines above the tail for the rest of the bottom edge of the wing. Use a few diagonal lines to create triangular shapes along the bottom edge of the wing. When you get the shape right, darken the lines. Don't overlap the tail as you draw these lines. Add a diagonal line inside the wing to create a crease. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Don't overlap the wing or the legs that are on this side of the body as you darken the lines. Make the tip of the tail thin and pointy. Add a small triangular shape on the tip of the tail for an arrow-like spike. Draw a couple of long curved lines inside the neck to separate the scales. Curve the lines along the shape of the neck. Draw a horizontal line along the bottom part of the torso for the scales that are on the underside of the body. Add a curved line along the bottom part of the tail for more of the scales. Add a series of small triangular shapes across the top part of the body for spikes. Above the head, draw a big triangular shape for the visible section of the other wing. Don't overlap the existing shapes as you draw the wing. Add a series of lines along the underside of the body to separate the scales. Follow the shape of the body as you draw these lines. Now go over the final lines with permanent ink. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Take your time and be careful when you ink your drawing to avoid any accidents. Don't ink the initial guidelines, only the final drawing. When the ink dries, erase all of the guidelines. Now color your drawing. Dragons are fictional creatures, so you can color your drawing however you'd like. For this look, use different shades of red on the main part of the body. Use dark red and brown to create shadows across the body. Now add a lighter shade of red to the rest of the main part of the body. Use lighter shades of red like red-orange to create highlights across the body. Color lightly at first and gradually build up to darker colors. Use dark brown to color the horns, the spikes, and the claws. Leave a few thin sections blank to create highlights. Color the inside of the mouth using dark brown. Color the tongue pink. Use dark brown to create shadows. Color the inner section of the wing and the underside of the body light brown. Push down slightly harder on your pencils to blend the colors together. Add a cast shadow at the bottom using gray and a bit of blue. Keep coloring until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the dragon. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.